Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says the federal government is doing everything it can to help Canadians in Mexico right now. She addressed the situation in a briefing on Parliament Hill earlier today, and the CBC's Karina Roman joins me live from our Ottawa bureau. So, Karina, what did Anand say about the status of Canadians stuck in Mexico?
Well, she said, of course, that the government is monitoring how she described a serious and rapidly evolving security situation that's affecting various regions of Mexico. She said, of course, the government has updated the travel advisory for Canadians going to Mexico to expand the list of affected areas. She said that all Canadians in affected regions should heed the direction of local authorities, travel only when it's safe to do so. She was asked and said the Canadian government did not get any kind of heads up from Mexico that this was going to happen, considering how many Canadians are down there. And she sidestepped the question about whether Canada should have gotten a heads up, considering how many Canadians are down there. She said, on one hand, she wants to alert Canadians that this volatility may continue to spread. But on the other, she says that she's been told by her Mexican counterpart that the situation is expected to normalize. Not sure how he would define normalize, but that's what she was told. Have a listen to what she said.
I am concerned with the safety and security of Canadians first and foremost. In answer to your question, in my conversation with Foreign Minister de la Fuente last evening, he indicated that the situation should stabilize in the coming days and that this was a targeted operation which will not continue.
Now, as of 7 a.m. this morning, she says more than 26,000 Canadians have registered with Global Affairs in Mexico. The registration is supposed to be able to make sure that travelers get up-to-date updates and travel advice. But since registration is voluntary, Anand says that the actual number of Canadians in Mexico is likely much higher than that. And then she was given questions about the registration system going down last night, people having lots of trouble registering. She acknowledged that this did happen due to the surge in demand, but that it's been fixed. And she said in the last 24 hours, Canada's Emergency Watch and Response Centre received 440 calls, Andrew. 3 of those calls involve consular cases. 2 of those are injuries that she says are non-life-threatening, would give no more detail about that. She said their government is not considering sending repatriation flights at this time, nor any kind of military assistance, and that today she had arranged a briefing in English and in French for MPs who obviously would have perhaps constituents there who are very concerned.
And Karina, Anand was also asked about some other topics as well, including the situation in Cuba and an upcoming overseas trip for the Prime Minister. What did we hear about those?
Yeah, she was asked if Canada is considering aid to Cuba, considering its plight right now. And you could get a sense that the reporters were surprised at, in some ways, her forthcomingness with her answer and, of course, the lack of detail in her answer. Have a listen to what she had to say.
We are preparing a plan to assist. We are not prepared at this point to provide any further details of an announcement. To be clear, we have been in very close contact with the airlines who brought thousands of Canadians home from Cuba, and we will continue to ensure that we are supporting Canadians in any way, shape, or form.
Now, she was also asked about the Prime Minister's upcoming trip to India. He will be leaving soon, and what Canada's plans are in terms of trade with India, but also what Canada's plans are in terms of raising the issue of the killing of a Canadian on Canadian soil, the Niger case, which was allegedly with the involvement of the Indian government, as well as other transnational oppression that happens here in Canada. And many wondering how the government and the Prime Minister in particular will balance the pragmatism of trying to get more trade deals and principle in terms of making sure the rule of law is followed. So Anand says she raised, when she was in India in October, that she raised what she called domestic law concerns, security concerns, and transnational oppression. After all, she says that is her job, but she insists that while that is on the forefront of the government's mind, so is diversifying trade relationships.
Karina, thank you. The CBC's Karina Roman live in Ottawa.